Okay, now we are good to go. Greetings everyone, BJ Weiler back with you for another exciting adventure in Guild Wars. This here is the Canthan Adventures. This is our first episode of the Canthan Adventures because, well, the second campaign of the original Guild Wars trilogy, here, so to speak, right? Trilogy 3 and then the expansion? Yes, indeed. Factions is 10 years old. It has been 10 years. Originally released on, I believe it was April 28th, 2006. A year after the original release of Guild Wars. Of course, if you pre-ordered Factions, you were able to partake in a pre-release event called the Tengu Wars or something like that. I forget what it's called now. Anyway, there was a pre-release event that went live a day before the official game went live. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it because, you know, real-life things like work. But hey, I was still able to get the Tengu helmet thanks to the not so long ago, but yet a bit ago, updates to the holiday festivals that gave you access to all the holiday hats. But anyway, the original Guild Wars is now 11 and Factions is 10 years old. Hard to believe it has been a full decade. So let us begin the Canthan Adventures by creating a new character for our new series. Role-playing, of course. No, it's not going to be Nightfall, it's going to be Factions. Nightfall will be in a few months. So yes, we'll do Factions. And so, as you might notice here, we've got the 6 original or core roles here. Not roles, but frick, I'm having brain fades all day. Professions, that's what... My God, the senility's kicking in. So the 6 original professions return in Factions. So these are the core professions that you can choose from in each of the 3 campaigns. And of course, there are, with the release of Factions, there were 2 brand new professions that came about. Specific only to Factions. So you cannot create an assassin or a ritualist unless you have the Factions campaign. As I drive the background music nuts by changing my selections. So the first big decision I have here is what profession I'm going to choose. Obviously it's going to be assassin or a ritualist, so I gave this much thought, and ultimately what I'm going to end up doing is creating an assassin primary profession here, because this is what I'm going to end up doing is creating an assassin primary and choosing ritualist as my secondary. And I think just based on the professions themselves, I think assassin with secondary writ might work a little bit better than having writ with an assassin secondary. Plus, I actually don't have, in all my myriad of alts here, I actually don't have a Factions only dual profession here. So I've got assassins, I've got ritualists, but they all have a core profession as their other profession. So this will actually be my first faction-specific primary and secondary character here. So we'll go with our assassin. I think we will go with male, in keeping with the theme here. Now, one of the things... The only drawback here is that I don't really like too many of the hairstyles they have here for Factions. A lot of it just reminds me too much of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Type thing that was big back in the day. So we'll see if there's something that strikes my fancy that I haven't used already for any of my primary characters here. This one is definitely out. Yeah, that one is definitely out. That one I actually think for my main writ is the one I'm actually using. This one, it's not too bad. 9. No. This one, you know, this one I might actually go for. I always like to have a little something, you know, some of the little extras that they have for the hairdo, something that usually appeals to me. Don't know if I like the top knot look as much. I think we'll go with this one. I think that's the one I most prefer. Hair color here, let's see. Should I make him an old timer? So that'll depend on the face. See, the only drawback. Ooh, that's not so bad. The only drawback. Kind of like that one, except for the scarring. The drawback to trying to create an older character, at least particularly in factions, I think, is that, just as I recall from the initial introductory story stuff, it's more or less geared on a younger character, so it's not like we can have an old, grizzled assassin sort of backstory for your character here. I think that's actually my main's face there, so which one? Bit of a stubble, I think. I think we'll go for that one. Let's see. It's already got dark here, so we'll do something different. Maybe a little reddish, perhaps? You know, I think I actually kind of like that gray look. I think we'll try to go for the old, somewhat grizzled look anyway. I don't have too many gray hair. I think Corbin might be my only other really aged, gray-haired character, so I think we'll stick with that. I think we'll give him a bit of a tan. There we go. All in all, I think I am quite pleased with that look there. Hello there, Shing Jea. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to our first episode of the Canthan Adventures. So we will, yeah, I think I'm good with that. I'm kind of pleased with that look there. So body scale, let's see, giant or dwarf, how about somewhere in between? I think we'll make him a little bit on the taller side. And, of course, we will go with the initial... Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the one I want. There we go, with the initial color scheme of the Real Millennium Group Guild. For the starting armor. So, yeah, I think I'm okay with that look there. Good, good. Lots of people in the stream, because I'm going to need a little bit of help here in terms of character names. So, what we want to do for the first name is going to be a play on our Tyrian Adventures character, which is Zafarin. I'm going to make this one a little bit easier to roll off the tongue for me, Farazen. Ironically enough, I have an alt on the Mule account that is actually Farah Space Zen. I noticed when I was doing the Canthan New Year Festival. So we will stick with Farazen. That sort of gives us that Oriental type appeal there. But the last name, I've been going back and forth between two, which I'm going to actually put out here in chat. Oh, sorry puppy, I just rolled over my dog. So the first one here, where's my little note? Okay, this is the first one here. I was thinking of, are you on? So this one is pronounced roughly Liulang Zhe. So it would be Farazen Liulang Zhe. And in traditional Chinese, this last name means wanderer. So the other one I was thinking of is this one here. And that is pronounced Yoka. So that would be Farazen Yoka. And that one means traveler. So we got wanderer or traveler. So those of you in chat, if you want to pick which one of those last names I should go with, it'd be much appreciated when we get on here. So I haven't really, I kind of like Liulang Zhe because it's sort of like long and flowing. But, and again, yeah, I like Yoka because it's nice, short, and sweet. So let's see how we would go in here. So Liulang Zhe. So that actually does work. So number one, everybody likes Liulang Zhe. So that's one we'll stick with. So otherwise it'd be Yoka. Yeah, I kind of was fancying that one myself. So I think we will stick with the first choice, Liulang Zhe. And then we have Farazen Liulang Zhe. I know I'm butchering the pronunciation, but close enough. Definitely closer than I would have thought it would be pronounced without having good old Google Translate there to help me out. So there we go. Farazen, welcome to the world. So we have the Wanderer. Now we have the introduction. So this roughly takes place around the same time that I think pre-searing takes place. Or actually, about the same time that the post-searing takes place, I think it is. So pre-searing is 2 years prior to the post-searing. No, I've actually played this game for all 10 years it has been in existence. I'm actually, this is the second series. This is the first episode of the second series I'm actually running here for the Canthan Adventures. It's basically sort of in honor of the 10-year anniversary of the game. So I started out the Tyrian Adventures back in April for Guild Wars' 10th birthday, and now I am doing the Canthan Adventures for Faction's 10th birthday. So we're just getting a little bit of a jump on things here with the live streams. I actually upload these videos once a week to YouTube. So actually what we're watching here now, this actually won't be on YouTube until right about April 29th. So we got a couple of months. So what I'm actually doing is going to be doing a few live streams before then. That way I can build up some episodes in order to publish once a week on YouTube in honor of the 10th birthday of Factions. As unfortunately, due to real life and all that stuff, I can't reliably live stream as much as I would say like to be able to do, like, say, once a week. So what I do is I tend to live stream a couple episodes a week as I can. That way I build up some leeway in case I get a week or two where I actually can't live stream. So I've got nothing there, but I think if I do this, will that work? And now, okay, Outposter Town. So we'll wait on our bonus stuff. But anyway, so yes, this is our second in the series. We have been running the Tyrian Adventures in the original Guild Wars campaign. In fact, I just finished episode 52 earlier today, live streaming. Left click on me and we can speak. So, welcome to Shing Jea Monastery. I'm an instructor Ning. Begin by teaching you a few basic procedures first, etc., etc., etc. So again, I think at some point you can actually skip this tutorial. However, the one key thing is here, sort of almost like Guild Wars, where you had pre-searing, and once you left pre-searing you couldn't go back. This little area here, originally, doing this tutorial was the only way you could actually access this area. So if you were a cartographer like myself, you actually had to play through this tutorial in order to map clear this area, because it is, I think, worth a couple tenths of a percentage point. But of course that all changed once they began doing the Canthan specific holiday events, and this area becomes the boardwalk with all the requisite games that are included with that. So those who didn't map clear this area initially during this tutorial, thanks to the boardwalk being open, was able to map clear it forthwith. My God, but it's been probably almost 10 years since I've actually run through this tutorial, because all my faction characters were pretty much created right when the game launched. Click on me and we will continue. Do I have to click on you again? Oh, I guess I do. So yes, I've been playing, pretty much since the last beta for the original Guild Wars. So I've been playing all these all along. So like I said, this is sort of my way of reminiscing about the game, playing through again with a fresh perspective. Starburst. Yes, I see the starburst. You have the quest, right? Yes. Excellent. Any other questions? No. Can you open the gate? Actually, no, I do need to do... Actually, I think we do actually come back up this way. But there are some nice little sightseeing parts here, even in this monastery here. And really, this is the only way to actually see the monastery overlook in its somewhat natural form as well, because it is altered slightly during the holiday events. Primarily the atmosphere. About is a little bit darker. It's not quite as bright and sunny here. There we go. Always good screenshot there. Oh, everybody's moved on already. Oh, you'll leave that up to me? Why, thank you. Handles the situation by killing it with my daggers. Well, you didn't drop nothing. So we have another assassin trainee, and yeah, she is the ritualist. Okay, let me clear this little ditty out and I'll talk to you, Master Instructor. Another nice little shot there of, if I recall correctly, that should be Seitung Harbor. Of course, this tutorial, quite the departure from the tutorial in the original Guild Wars, where in the original Guild Wars you basically learned just by playing through everything, where here this is much more of an instructional mode tutorial, clearly explaining everything that is involved as he kills us, and thus ends the Survivor title before it begins. Just kidding, that should not count. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Yes, we should, probably. That's actually some of the armor you can wear, at least the helmet anyway. Interesting. So what we got here, Shadow Refuge. Okay, that's our healing and that's our initial attack. Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready, Instructor Ning. I see it. Oh, noobs. Oh, I forgot about you, eh? Oh, Shing Jea Key. Oh, that's right. We've got a bonus weekend. Non-lucky points, I think, are doubled as our key and lockpick drops. Interesting, that little glitch still there. Right, thank you. And this actually brings us to level 2, if I recall. Click this button now. Okay. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I guess we'll go Dagger Mastery to start off with. What do we got here? Shadow and crit. Maybe not then. We'll go a bit of shadow, a bit of crit. I got 3 points left. We'll go dagger, then we'll go another one and crit. Alright, I'm ready. Actually, if I remember right, we have new dance skills that came in too. If we do that, yeah, there we go. I think this was part of the pre-order too. You actually got specific dance emotes for your assassin ritual list that actually carried over too to the Dervish and Paragon for Nightfall. And I think that was part of the collector's edition, if I recall correctly. The dance skills, not part of the pre-order, but the collector's edition. Oh, good. Now I can just speak to Ludo. And thus we say goodbye to the monastery overlook. So, let me see. Oh, so that's actually almost a full percentage point we get from here. Which in terms of this campaign comes in kind of handy. Yes, I shall seek him out, thank you. I shall seek him out. Can you let me into the monastery? Yes. I'm ready. I'm ready. So, of course, faction sort of kicks off, or I guess you could say sort of kicks off the ArenaNet business model philosophy, to where from this point on we were to get campaigns every 6 months. Now naturally factions came out a year after the original game, simply because, well, you know, they didn't know how well the original game would do, so if there would even be a sequel. But also, of course, you always have that breaking in period. So it was actually a year before we got the second campaign. But from, of course, here on out, the game plan was to get campaigns every 6 months. And of course, I can speak on that more once we start doing our lone adventures. But that started and stopped with the Nightfall campaign, in all reality. Now, part of that game plan was to have 2 different teams working on these campaigns. So, in all reality, each campaign would be a year within development, and they would just stagger the releases every 6 months. So you would have one team working on one campaign, which would be a PvE based campaign. It would be more PvE like, and have more elements dedicated to PvE, much like the original Guild Wars was. And the other team would focus on a campaign that would be more PvP oriented. And of course, Factions is that campaign that has more elements geared towards PvP and that type of stuff. And of course, when we got back to Nightfall, it was more of a PvE meaty campaign. Seek out Headmaster Lee. So there is Headmaster Lee. Let's seek him out. My training now begins. And like I said, you know, this sort of just sort of how the story floats here. You sort of have to have a little bit of suspension of disbelief if you want to role play as an older, grizzled assassin veteran. So, actually, we'll do that. Okay. Oh, hello. Named Jinzhou, the other is Panaku. They're 2 sides of the same coin. There's duty in terms of pleasure. I will look for Jinzhou, thank you. And while I am here now, I can get my bonus stuff. And yes, excellent. Those are the things I'm looking for. So we'll dump off them starter daggers and go with our pre-order daggers. Excellent. And you know what I need to do? However, let's get rid of the rest of the stuff we're not going to use. Hey, there's some peeps. We're not entirely a ghost town now that the Canthan New Year has ended. course, these I believe are unsellable, or at least valueless. I'm a good old Canthan Targe. Little did we know when the pre-orders for the original Guild Wars came about that Cantha would actually be a place we would go visit. I could, you know, I might keep that. I might play around with that a little bit. So do a little bit of map clearing here in the monastery, as well as see if I think there's some quests to pick up here. So that we don't need. Ram's hammer we don't need. Starter daggers, that's what I thought. Not interested in that item. Now the question is, I don't have enough gold yet to open up my Zunwai storage. So we'll wait on that. I guess I'll start up this way. Well, that's actually open? The one difference... Oh yeah, okay, so yes, it's open because the portal's actually right there, isn't it? The one big difference that players noticed between factions and Guild Wars was that factions set you upon a much more limited path. I don't want to say more linear, because even with the openness of the exploration in the original Guild Wars, it was still fairly linear. But the big difference was that you weren't able to freely explore. You aren't really able to freely explore Cantha as you are faction, or Cantha as you are Tyria in the original game. Because a lot of the stuff here is gated. Literally, there are gates blocking your path until you complete certain quests and or missions to open up those gates. So that was the one thing I sort of disliked initially about the campaign, was that I didn't have that freedom to explore at will and skip, say, missions until I was, you know, finished exploring certain areas. I will eventually. Sure, I could use the help, because we are, again, sort of like we did for the Tyrian Adventures, we're going to play a little bit of old school when we can here and go all henchies. And of course, another thing I didn't like at the outset was the actual mission, the mechanical design of the missions. Whereas in the original game, you had the primary mission that you would, you know, that the reason for going through there, that you would run through the primary mission storyline. Then you would have the bonus mission, which you would uncover in the process of playing through the mission. Whereas here, the main mission, and there was no time limit. You could take as long as you wanted to go through the mission in order to complete it in Prophecies, which gave you, of course, freedom to map clear and explore at will. Whereas here in Factions, the majority of the missions, I think all but one, in fact all but one or two, are actually timed missions, in that you have to complete the mission in a certain amount of time. And of course, the faster you complete it, the higher the level you actually get. Instead of bonus missions, there's actually 3 different levels of missions. There's Master, Expert, and you know, the basic one. So the faster you complete it, the higher of the level you get for expert or master of it. So I think we're actually all done here. So let's see what do we got here. Locate Jinzhou rights. We got forming a party, so the advanced training is actually after I do a little bit of training. Okay, so most of the quests that are in Shing Jea Monastery an hour already? Yeah, could be. Shing Jea Monastery are after some of these training quests. Okay, so what do I need to do? I need to form a party. Well, we will definitely need to hear. Okay, there's Kisei and Mei. So, okay, so the characters that we actually accompany us, at least two of them, accompanying us through the tutorial are now henchmen. So that gives us a little bit of a connection to some of these characters. But as I've mentioned in my Tyrian Adventures episodes, one of the drawbacks of the game here is that we really don't have any connection to the henchmen. For the most part, they're just people there. They don't really play much in the way of the storyline as, say, the initial NPCs in Prophecies, Devona, Aiden, Eve, Sin, and Menlo do in the original campaign as they journey along with us. We really don't have that here in Factions. Alright, so I got our healer. Alright, let's bring our rangers. We got one more, so we will bring... I'm actually the tanky character here, so we'll do that, and we will bring our ritualist. So there we go. I think that rounds us out pretty well. She's our Ellie. Yeah, I think we'll stick with that. And I can complete this form of the party quest really quick. Ah, here we go. Dancing daggers. My God. Some of these early skills. Deadly arts. So yeah, lead attacks. And this is one of the reasons why I went with the Assassin Primary, just simply because of the attack chains and stuff. Doesn't really lead to that much of a good secondary. I've noticed. I'm sure there are plenty of good secondary assassins out there, but I am not one of them. By a former student of this very monastery. Oh, really? Crimson Skull. So we do actually, as I recall, have quite a bit to do with the Crimson Skull on the island here. So good. That is forming a party. Completes. And in the meantime, we have to locate Jinzhou. He's way up now. So while we do now have a little bit of freedom to explore, we shall. Oh, there's our tamer for pets and such. trying to call which areas we could actually explore during the beta weekend events for factions. I know there... I do recall areas in the Eckavold Forest. And the one outpost in Canang City, which was sort of the hub that led to the other areas that were open for the beta. But I don't remember much about doing anything on Shing Jea Island, actually, for the beta. I wish I had saved some screenshots or even had some video capture software at the time to be able to cap out the beta, just so I can go back and just see what changed a little bit. So I did do screen caps. I had the wherewithal when Nightfall came out to do screen caps of the beta there, which the Nightfall beta primarily took place on the starter island there as well. It pretty much encapsulated the whole Star Island, but I seem to recall factions was more focused in some of the actual higher level areas, at least for one of the betas. So we'll go Dancing Daggers you. Good. Gold is what we need, so we can open up our Zunlong storage. And our first collector is right here. Aha! I think there is a belt pouch quest here. So I'll actually skip on getting the belt pouch. I will need to do, though, is get an equipment pack, won't I? Yes, sir. I think that I'll just end up buying instead of farming it from pre-steering for this guy. Some very nice areas for just for sightseeing here. Such a contrast, really, the way the look of the island is compared to the city, which of course was deliberate. But I so much prefer this look here over Kaining City and Ekevold Forest. Really, in terms of sort of green areas that feel alive. We can get in here, right? Good. So I'm going to pop in there and unlock that outpost. We really just have the island, and then that little area outside of Kaining City that sort of connects Ekevold Forest and the Jade Sea is really the only green, quote-unquote, areas in the game. So let's pop up into this little town. Sume Village. Now this, of course, the island is one of the few places where you can get some bit of freedom of exploration initially. So I believe we can actually get into Pajang Peninsula as well from the other portal here. I don't think that's gated. But otherwise, these are the primary areas we can actually get to without having to do any of the missions here. How much gold do I got? Am I up to 50 yet? Nope, not yet. What if I sell some things? And also introduced with the Factions campaign, or the idea of these credits here that you get as quest rewards that allow you to purchase stuff without having to use gold. Sunko Blade, yep. Now I'm trying to think if I ever used the credits to actually buy anything. So for the most part, I think I pretty much ended up either, like I did in Tyria, just upgrade the armor via the collectors at the time. And pretty much stuck with the pre-order weapons for the most part. Right, now we're going to save Pajang for later. Now we just want to basically get through some of these introductory tutorial quests and through Sunko Vale. And the good thing about going in here, of course, is that now the henchmen are level 6. So they basically doubled in level. Makes it a little bit nicer when we come out to finish Sunko Vale. I think there might be an Ani down here. I know there's one. I'm pretty sure I recall one in Pajang. I'm pretty sure there's one right. Yep, there he is. Your first lesson in Factions here, in that the game really tries to kill you from the outset. Whereas with in Prophecies, there's a much more gentler learning curve and curve of difficulty up to the point where you got to the desert and the southern sugar peaks, whereas here with factions you kind of run into much more tougher foes a lot sooner. And then the difficulty curve going from Shing Jea Island to the city was really a lot steeper. And I can't see nothing. Up to you. I think we got Naga Central down this way. Oh, and there's the first pet, the tiger. Oh, hello. Ooh, feathered scalp. Feathers are worth quite a bit nowadays. So that I actually want to throw in storage once I get that unlocked. What? Well, I'm here. Let me bring out the imp for a bit. What the heck? Might as well make use of it while I can. Not that we actually really need him at this point. Surviving pretty well on our own. As I'm just about to die, right? Nope. Okay, human will help. It's just to show that the Yeti aren't quite all mindless creatures, I suppose, but this is really the only somewhat positive interaction we have with the Yeti, when you think about it. Oh yeah, good thing I did bring the imp out. This is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. And run, 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 run. Time to run. Time to run. Oh, there's Walt. He's helping us. Okay, good. Fire Imp's dead already. There we go. Excellent walk, Kragfist. And one thing to notice too here, the leveling experience is a whole lot faster than it is in Prophecies. Whereas you pretty much didn't hit level 20 in Prophecies till right about 60 to 75% through the game content. Here you basically leave the tutorial island at max level. Alright, so I know I've got deadly arts now. That'll leave me 4 points, so I guess we'll do Shadow and Dagger. There we go. Till we sort of settle on how this build is going to work. Of course, that's really going to be determined by what I do with the secondary. Can get to Kenya too, which again helps for some of my alt characters I use primarily as mules. I actually haven't run them through the storyline. They're all levels 15 to 20 at this point, just by doing shoot. Forgot I want my key, my lock picks. Anyway, as I was saying. What was I saying? Oh yes, my alts level them up pretty much during the holiday festival events. They don't have anything else unlocked except what you can explore to. was about to say, I think there's another boss here. I think another change from Prophecies to Factions is that, for one, all the bosses have specific spawns. The spawns aren't random anymore, so, you know, that Crimson Skull boss will always be the one that spawns in that location. But I also think, it was with Factions where they started that each of the bosses drops a unique item as well. You can collect. I'm pretty sure it started with Factions, because I know in Nightfall I've gotten quite a few of them. This should be, yes, Minister chose a state. Fortunate part about this, not too much fighting here at the on the estate grounds. As you can see, it is blocked off. We can't even get into the outpost until we complete our primary quests. Where's my trainer at? Oh, I've lost. There we go. I think part of the quest takes us into the cave system anyway, so maybe I will head out this way. Go get that started. Oh yes, I am always an explorer. I am a wall scraper with every character I use. And welcome to the stream. Hulu. Alright, where is Jinzo? There he is, on the other side of this. Alright. Again, same stuff there as the other fella. Jinzo. Well, let's rock. Alright, let's begin the training. Be quick and precise with our blades, yada yada yada. My blade will strike true. Let's go. Oh good, I can finally get a chain going too. Pananku, alright. Well, I don't consider that cheating or boring using the mods. I just never got into using add-ons and mods. Although, particularly, I think for factions, they would help for certain areas. Alright, how do I want to do this? So do it like that. There we go. Now, for the most part, yeah, he just never got into using the third-party stuff. Well, playing the game stuff. At the most, I've only ever used the wiki, and initially, I actually didn't even use the wiki. I actually used the Prima guides, at least in terms of questing and getting a feel for what was coming up. But yeah, for map clearing, that's just the way I've always played games. So it just came naturally to me just to scrape the walls while exploring. It's pretty much just like a second nature to me to do it. Actually, I think I want to be on this side. One thing I am thankful for is that these mantids don't resurrect. Unlike the ones in the Eye of the North, where you think you got them killed, you start running away. Oh no! They come back. was a chamber or something this way, yeah. If there was anything of note here. Nope, just a bunch of crates. Ah, there we go. I think that's pretty much all of Sunkwell, except for the center part there. Okay. We should have plenty enough now, I think, right? Yeah. I think there is an armor smith in the monastery, too. Oh, indeed I do. Indeed I do. Yeah, basically, as I've said in my Tyrian adventures, I just basically play for have fun. I don't claim to be a great, highly skilled player of any of the campaigns. Axe, Dirks, yeah. So for me, it's just a way to have fun, just playing just to kill some time, playing a highly enjoyable game. Anything Sunkwell Vale? I don't think there's any other. That's not profession specific. Okay, nope. Alright. So we do have all the quests up to this point. Oh, this familiar path, heading up to the Shrine of Mat for the Dragon Festival, time and time again. That's a 30-second recharge. Alright, excellent. Get a good view here of the surrounding areas. So it's Minister Cho's. Is that Mr. Cho's? That should be Mr. Cho's, yeah. Okay. We got the monastery that way. Sume village. Go check out this last collector here. Oh! Another boss. Yes, he drops Zinju's staff or something like that, I think. So yeah, they do have unique weapons. I could have swore they were armor collectors, but I guess they're in the outer lying areas here. We'll find out soon enough. Alright, excellent. So we've got the monastery almost cleared out. I think I missed a part there. That's alright. Sunkwa Vale is clear. Good, good, good. So I think we can call this an episode. And say happy birthday to Guild Wars Factions. 10 years this year. So good. Nothing complete, so I just gotta track him down in Kenya, so we shall do. You know what? I do want to check out armor. Check Sumi. I think there might be one in there too. But anyway, we'll call this an episode. We'll say thank you everyone for joining us this time around for our premiere episode of the Canthan Adventures. So now we've got these weapons. 2 adventures going on. We got the Tyrian adventures for a little bit longer. And now the Canthan adventures. So, I think I'll say this is BJ Wilder saying thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and as always, catch the weekly recaps of these live streams up on YouTube as well.